So I am at the public library, the thing behind me, because I was uploading this video. It's still uploading right now. It took 7 hours, okay? 7 hours to get to, I think it was 26%? No. At 5 or 6 o'clock, I said, what is going on here? It was only at 1%. I'm thinking, this is crazy. 8:50 rolled by, and I said, I gotta do something. I have to go and get to the library. It was crazy. It's just that internet frontier, very bad, very very bad. Today I wanted to make a flyer for sending out emails. So it was a custom email with a nice flyer, a nice picture, and it had the Norsum aesthetic. So I want to work on that and work on my script for calling and talking to the people in person, because it's essentially the same thing, I guess. And what was the other thing? There's one more something. Oh, and collect the leads, exactly who I'm gonna go to. The first month's worth of leads, or maybe the first week of leads. Start to gather exactly who I'm going to. What are all the little towns? Which little town has a gift shop? Because out in the middle of nowhere here, there are lots of little towns. So, okay, Binghamton is good. What's around Binghamton? And just get exactly who I need to get. But while I do want to drive around to these different places, and that'll be very nice, sending out emails and having e-commerce stores purchase the product is going to be important as well. Even though I'm not going to make as much because of the shipping, I have to make enough money where I can be able to buy more, but I am also supplementing that with the job at Domino's. So at this point, it's just about building that volume and building that volume and building that volume and building that volume. And once I have enough volume built up, the toys will cost me less, and then mailing will become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. But at the same time, driving around is going to be very important because the distribution. The distribution company is going to want to see the East Coast, their areas of delivering being delivered to. Because with the mailing, I could potentially mail to somebody across the country, but that's not going to work for the distributor, you know? So driving around will be important. What was I saying? Mailing, distributing. Getting the leads. So those were the things I wanted to do. Get the email together, get the script together, and get the leads. It's also important for me to get the script together, and I'm going to say this is partially more important than the mailing. I mean, emailing e-commerce leads, because if I am doing a salesperson in each state, I do need to build a system a sales system, a sales technique for them to follow if I'm going to onboard them. So that's all going to be important stuff. Even though I haven't really gotten to any of that stuff today. I mean, I did a little bit. I'm gearing up. I wake up so friggin' late. It's not good. But it is what it is. And I'm going to now run back home. Or partially run, partially walk. Holy moly, that's another thing. I jogged here. Wow. I couldn't make it didn't make it very far. I'm really disappointed, and I realized, oh gosh, I really got to go to the gym. I mean, it's dire that I have to go to the gym. Dire. Because all these gains that I worked, 3-4 years to get, gone. Disappearing. So fast. Years, 2 months to completely get rid of the 3 years of hard work. Crazy. Anyway, so I'm going to run home, and I will talk to you later. Hopefully this video won't take as long tomorrow to upload. Okay, guys. Bye. Okay, so had that little run over to the library and back. And over there, the internet, whew, so fast. What takes 7 hours here takes probably 15 minutes over there. Crazy how bad the internet is over here. So over there, I was talking about making these email and this flyer and emailing these e-commerce platforms. And I guess I think I'm getting myself overwhelmed with the options that I have. Or maybe I'm getting overwhelmed with my lack of decisiveness. So I could do the email marketing. I could do the calling. I can go straight to the place, to the retailer. And I find myself looking into, okay, so I'll do the email marketing. And then there's a lot to the email marketing. And then there's this question of, so if I have some of my, and maybe I need to look into this, but if I have some of my retail partners online on e-commerce, and I don't have them in this territory that I keep speaking of, is the distributor going to see that as a plus or a minus? Maybe it's up to my ability to sell, it being a plus or a minus. But I imagine the distributor wants to see that it's a product that they can sell to their already existing partners, retail partners. And it makes me question the validity of that idea of selling to those e-commerce. Now, I think it's partially some anxiety where I don't feel confident in being able to sell to the gift shops. I think it's a little
laziness as well, where I'm thinking, oh, geez, that's a whole lot of work. And I have to just push that aside. It's also this, oh, let me scale really fast. And then I have an anxiety about scaling really fast. And oh my gosh, I'm not even going to be able to pay for all the products. So scale it back. And then I come to just stick with the thing, the main thing, which was going to be going to their place, calling them up. Focus on a script. I keep wondering, how am I going to pay people? And this is another aspect that I obviously don't have any clue. And it's funny though, because I am an employee, yet I feel uncomfortable, and I don't know what the word is, unknowing about hiring. And I question the margins, but I guess if I have a marketing plan, my margins being, so I build a system which is calling, I call the retailer, I email the retailer, and I go to their location and sell them the product. And I create a system, and then I uh, hire one or two salespeople in each state, and I create that local feel of, hey, I'm from around here and I'm a representative of Norsum LLC, and I'm looking to sell you X toy. And I think, oh, so now I have to figure out how much I'm going to sell them. I mean, how much I'm going to pay them. How much does that cut into the margins? Of course, that's all being said. Once I have the distribution, then I'll be worried about that. So it's these funny things where, you're looking into the future and you want to see what's going on there. And, oh my gosh, that feels really big and I'm not there yet. And I feel so little, but I don't know what it's going to be like when I'm big. And then I say, whoa, slow down. Pick one thing. Because your indecisiveness, you got too many decisions and you're anxious. I think I get depressed when I don't know what I'm doing, and I get anxious when I have too many options and I don't pick one. And so I'm feeling anxious because I get too many options. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Whoa. Calm down. Just do one thing. I mean, even in my mind as I'm talking to you, I'm thinking, oh, but come on, the e-commerce, I found so many fun cow farm gift shops that I could sell to. That'd be great. I have to pick one. I have to pick one thing and stick with it and build onto it. So that's that. I don't think that the e-commerce is necessarily wrong to think about, but it's a fact that I have this 50-50 option where I'm saying, oh, I'll do half the cold call and door to door, and then I'll do half e-commerce. How can I put 100% into two different options? So if I think to myself, I'm going 95% into this, and then maybe once a week or for a certain amount of hours, I'm also practicing sending out emails to these e-commerce, that might be a little nicer. That way I can say, okay, I'm going to stay focused here. I'm going to stay focused here. But my other concern is, this is like a wild fantasy concern, you know? um, what happens when I double down and I contact people and I'm contacting the offline retailers and I'm contacting the online e-commerce platforms? And what happens when I get an influx? I was looking at lead lists or lead generating lists. Okay, so I could generate 2,100 leads or 21,000 leads, and I can make 3 different emails and divide those leads up evenly between 3, and then send these emails out. And then I'm calculating, okay, even if I got 1% of those, how many would I get? Holy moly, that's a lot. And then I'm thinking my panic sets in again. Where I go, I don't have all that inventory. This is crazy. This is too much. And I say, whoa, reel it back in. Reel it back in. This is why you need to just pick one thing and start small. And this, I guess, is where the marketing comes in. And I can say, hey, I have this. I have Norsum's original marketing plan of outreach, cold outreach, which will continue on. And this is how I'll do that. But once you're on board and we can collect this much inventory, then I can start to work on this new phase of marketing, which will be the online e-commerce platform. So we'll have online retailers, offline retailers. And then we'll be able to distribute to these e-commerce platforms more efficiently. Even just talking right there, that feels much better. Like the online is a later thing, but I could practice the online thing now. So I can say, hey, we do have a certain conversion rate, and we do have a set rule of practiced principles that we operate by, that we know to be effective, that have been put to the test already. So I think I'm gonna just stick with doing the local thing. I'm just gonna do the local thing. And I think it's a really nice way of building a community and building a business and building because I want to communicate with people. Just doing it all online and, oh, I can just do it myself and have no overhead. It's okay, but I'd like to have a sales team. I want to have people around. I like, one of the things I like about Domino's, even though sometimes the people at Domino's I don't wholly jive with, I still like to stay happy and positive and say, they're just people. You're no better. Get out of here. And I realize all of a sudden, oh, yeah, just people. It doesn't matter, whatever the situation is. Different viewpoints, different these, different that's. Yeah, got it. But in the end, we're all people. So I just want to have people. I like talking to people. I want to be around people. And I think that's really why the cold calling and going to the retail stores appeals to me, even though it scares the piss out of me. I like engaging with people. And it's important to me to make sure that things are fun for me. That way I can keep going. I didn't really get a whole lot today. I didn't really get a whole lot done today because I was looking into this emailing, which I've done several times, but really now it's become really real. I've done it in the past where it was sort of oh, this is going to have to happen at some point, and now getting into the weeds and saying, really, okay, this here is really how you do it. This is the money that needs to be spent on it. or time that needs to be spent on it. Okay, here's the time and money that needs to be spent on this. And realizing, okay, I'm not going to do the emails that way, and I'm not going to put in that type of effort for that. I'll practice on a smaller scale, but I want to focus on this over here on a larger scale. So it was more, I guess it was work in a sense. It was sort of figuring out what isn't going to be done. What else? Now after this, I'm going to go and figure out, really nail down the sales questions, and then I have to have the sales pitch down, which are going to be a series of questions and comments to get mixed together. And then I'm going to have the answers to the objections. So sort of two parts to it, the sales pitch and the questions to ask, to be able to say, hey, everything that you just said, that you said you want in a product or a toy or a plushie, is what this toy is. And then when they do the I don't have time, or I have to think about it, or I'm a little too busy, or this isn't the right time, I need to have the answers to those objections. It's also going to be very organic. I think that's something else. It's really great to plan, and I enjoy the planning because it makes me feel as though I'm doing something and really being proactive. But at the same time, I think there is an element of, you just have to get out there and do it, and you'll figure out sort of what's right and what's wrong. Set yourself up as best you can, and then prepare for most of what you set up to fall down, but at least you have some like pieces that were left over standing that you can rebuild back onto, and then knock it over again, and then more pieces stood up, and you can say, okay, so those things work, to build it back up until you've got the full Monty there. What else? I don't know if I told you that the website is set up. I think I did. It's finished, but I'm not going to launch it. I did tell you guys that, definitely. What else? That's it. That's what's going on here for right now. And because this video is already, it's going to take another 12 hours to upload the video. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to call it there, and I will talk to you guys later.